I used to put after everything. I thought it was an inside joke or something.
I hate Snake.
Hey guys, it's Bree here. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm reacting to my subscribers' K-pop confessions. This is actually part 2 of a 2-part series, so if you haven't seen part 1, make sure to check it out. Let me just say, in part 1, you guys were wild. I loved reading your K-pop confessions. You guys were brutally honest, you held nothing back, and that's exactly what I wanted. I love to see it. So like I said, in today's video, I will be reading more of my subscribers' K-pop confessions. Thank you to everyone who participated. This is the final part, but I will be doing more videos like this. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button to join the family, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and pay attention to my community post because I will definitely be asking for your input for future videos. So anyway, let's get right into these K-pop confessions.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together like we fly. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love. From your baby.
So the first K-pop confession is, I think aesthetic-wise, M countdown stages are the best, especially the comeback stage, the first scheduled stage. I totally agree with you. Mnet is a huge network, and from what I understand, they have a huge budget, so I noticed they go all out, especially for their comeback stages. The set for the stage is always super extravagant. One particular recent Mnet comeback stage that sticks out to me is Rosé's stage for On the Ground. The set for that stage was crazy. There were like beautiful flowers. Everything about it was giving me beautiful aesthetic vibes, and yeah, we love to see it. They just go all out for the aesthetic of the stage. I think SM should do the NCT All Members project every 2 years, but still allow the members to interact, release YouTube content together, because I'm sure fans will love it. But then again, NCT 2020 had so much hype because we were thirsty for interactions. We were fighting whether WayV was NCT or not, and NCT 2020 held the answers. Okay, first of all, I can tell you're an N citizen like I am, so hi N citizen. I totally agree. I really hope that we see more NCT 2020 concepts with all of the members, because I was living for NCT 2020 era. We got so much content on YouTube, etc. of all of the members interacting that we haven't seen interact in a while together. We got Win reuniting with NCT 127. We got some Johnny and 10 interactions. It was just a really good time for N citizens, so I would definitely support SM doing this every couple years. Like you said, N citizens are thirsty for these interactions, and I was living my best N citizen life. Now, as far as the whole is WayV NCT thing, to be honest with you, if anyone is arguing if WayV is part of NCT at this point in 2021, get your life together. By this time, everyone should know that WayV is NCT's Chinese subunit. Yes, they are a part of NCT, and if you have a problem with acknowledging that, the door is that way. Renjun is a very beautiful idol. Yes, Renjun is so adorable. I think, at least for me, I'm not that into NCT Dream. I feel like Renjun is often overlooked because he seems like very shy or soft-spoken. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me because like I said, I'm not that into NCT Dream. But yeah, he's definitely adorable. He looked really great in the From Home music video as well. I loved the scene where he was wearing the circle frame glasses. So yes, we stan Renjun, we stan. My K-pop confession is, I thought Woojin was Sungmin before. I thought Sungmin was the one who came out of Stray Kids and not Woojin. Please, I was so embarrassed, and I once lied to my friends that I'm related to Suga. Call me weird, but it was April Fool's and I don't know how they believed me. Maybe because I'm trustworthy. That's my confession. Okay, so I honestly am not mad at you for confusing Woojin and Sungmin. I still don't know all of the members in Stray Kids. Now, I do know that Woojin is the one who left, but I still struggle with the names and faces of Stray Kids. I'm starting to get better now because I've been watching Kingdom, but before then, I only knew like Han and Hyunjin and Bangchan, and that was about it. So I feel your pain. As far as you lying to your friends that you're related to Suga, like, I don't know how you got away with that. You might be a good liar if they actually believe that. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't stan nobody, but I hear music from a lot of groups, and I think that's fine. Like, you can be like a really casual K-pop fan, just listen to the music and not stan any groups. That's totally fine. Or then you can be someone like me who's crazy and hears like 3 or 4 songs from a group that they really like and then falls down a rabbit hole and ends up standing in a period of 3 days. I'm more than 10 years younger than them, but I still stan them. I used to be jealous of them when I first liked K-pop. I used to be an anti-fan and used to say things like they look the same and they're only successful because of their looks. Wow, so there's a lot to unpack here in this K-pop confession. It's okay to be younger than K-pop idols and stan them. When I first got into K-pop, I was really young. I think I was like 12 or 13. And I was standing a lot of groups that are a lot older than me, so that's perfectly fine. It's okay to like the group, admire them, and enjoy their music. I used to be jealous of them when I first started liking K-pop, and I used to be an anti-fan. So I'm so glad that you grew out of being jealous and being an anti-fan, because you know, it's 2021, we are going for positive vibes, no toxicity. So I'm glad that you grew out of that phase. We all have our moments. I love On the Ground, but Gone is much better. Yes. Okay, so to be honest with you, I listened to On the Ground a few times. I kind of came to the conclusion that it was a very safe song for Rose. Now, it was a good song, but it just didn't blow me away like I hoped her first official solo release would. Now, Gone, that is a song that I actually listen to when I'm chilling or when I'm driving in my car. Like, it's a really good song, and I love how there's a very heavy focus on Rose's vocals because the actual instrumental of the song is very simplistic and it works really well. So yeah, I agree that Gone is a better song than On the Ground in my opinion. I easily forgot Black Mamba by aespa. The way SM hyped up aespa's debut. They hyped it up so much. We got all these trailers, we got like that film, that little short film or behind the scenes, whatever it was, when aespa was interacting with their avatars, especially Karina. Then Black Mamba dropped. We haven't heard anything from them. I do think that they released a very like Christmassy, winter, Christmas vibes song, which I thought was really strange. If anything, I felt like that song should have been released in December since it felt very Christmassy. It was like a Christmas type ballad about love. But yeah, like what are the girls doing? I really wish that SM would stop rushing to debut these groups, and what would have been a better marketing strategy, SM hire me. They should have built up the hype for aespa, but with their debut, we should have gotten a full-length EP or a mini album instead of just one single. Because after that single, it's like we have no more content. Now, if you follow aespa and you're part of the fandom, and I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, but I feel like SM kind of let aespa down with that. I think if they would have had continuous content prepared for them, then they wouldn't have fallen off the radar for so many people. I used to put ooh after everything. I thought it was an inside joke or something. Okay, so you used to put like snakeu or standu. At first, I totally didn't get that joke, but I did see like the meme of J-Hope saying snakeu or whatever.
I hate snake.
But yeah, I see a lot of people do that, and they're basically mimicking how Korean people pronounce certain words that end in a consonant. Like, so instead of stand, you would say standu. But yeah, I'm glad you grew out of that because overdoing it can be a little cringy at times. So good job. I ult Jisung from NCT, and I think it's disgusting how some people think just because he's an adult now, they can sexualize him. It really pisses me off. He said he doesn't like it, so STFU please. Yeah, I do hear what you're saying. Like, it's okay to be attracted to Jisung, and being attracted to him is fine because he is an adult, but as long as you're not like on VLive or in a video chat with him or something and saying off the wall stuff and making him uncomfortable, it's okay, but it is kind of creepy if people were just waiting until he became legal to act like that. Like, that's totally creepy, and I would be side-eyeing them. I think it's fine to have your own personal opinions and feelings for an idol as long as you don't cross the boundary, if you know what I mean, and make anyone uncomfortable, because that's totally not cool. They're humans before they're idols. I don't think I could ever get into Mamamoo. Like, the girls seem sweet, but the things they've done are so controversial, and just something about them seems off to me. Yeah, I can kind of feel where you're coming from. I don't really follow Mamamoo. I like a few of their songs, but I did really like Hwasa's solo album, but I just never really got into them. All the controversies that they've been involved in the past kind of are stuck in my mind, especially the whole blackface thing they did where they were performing a Bruno Mars song. Now, I know they've apologized for that, and I follow a lot of groups that have done problematic things in the past, but I do see where you're coming from about that, and it's totally okay. If you don't want to get into a group or you don't want to stand them because they've done something in the past that makes you uncomfortable, that's totally your prerogative, and don't make anyone guilt trip you or make you feel bad for feeling that way. When I first got into K-pop, I discovered the world of collecting. I saw how people spent so much money on a picture of their faves and always questioned why they did that, because some are paying over $20 on a piece of cardstock. Little did I know, months later, I would be spending so much on albums too. I didn't really get the whole K-pop collection thing either until I started collecting albums, physical albums, this past summer. I think because quarantine was going on, I was kind of bored and I really started getting into K-pop more, especially with my YouTube channel and everything. And that's when I started buying albums, and now I have a full top row of my shelf filled with albums. So it's definitely addicting when it comes to collecting K-pop merch, because you start off with one album or one thing and then you want the next one that comes out, because there's always so much content coming out and there are so many artists that you can follow. So especially if you're a multi-stan, it's really easy to rack up on merch. I go on and off between wanting Kim Namjoon to be my husband and my dad, and sometimes those times overlap. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. So you're not sure if you want him to be your husband or your dad. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. I don't even know where to start, so let's continue. The why I unstand Blackpink videos were just dumb. Why do you have to tell the whole world why you unstand them? Literally no one cares. Okay, I actually have no clue what you're talking about, but if that's really a thing, that is silly. I'm not sure if Blackpink has done something that would cause a person to make that video, but if you choose to unstand a group, that's on you. There's no need to make a video about it. I don't know, I just feel like Blackpink gets enough needless hate as it is. So yeah, just leave them alone. Like, if you don't like their music, just keep it moving. Teddy's formula for Blackpink's title tracks is getting a little tired. I don't want to hear another chorus that is just a 3 or 4 word phrase in English followed by a beat drop repeated 3 times. I know these girls are more talented than we are being shown, and I don't think that's on the members at all. Teddy Park, yeah, like, even with How You Like That, I was very, very disappointed. I just feel like the chorus was such a letdown. It was such a letdown. Like, they could have done so much more with the chorus. Instead of saying how you like that, we could have gotten more than that. Like, and then look at you, now look at me, look at you, now look at me. Like, their lyrical content is really lacking. And for a group that's been in the game for a few years, I wish that Teddy Park and the other producers would step it up. Because to me, even like some of the lyrics, it sounds very almost like juvenile or immature. I believe all of the girls are in their like mid-20s at this point. And not every song, like, I'm not saying every song needs to be lyrically profound, but definitely as far as their title tracks, I wish that YG and Teddy Park would give us a little more, because like you said, they're super talented and they deserve better all around. I feel like the stays are becoming the new armies. I'm an army, and of course our fandom is more toxic because it's bigger, but stays have become so toxic, and the thing is that they deny and defend their own fandom. The popularity of Stray Kids is going up, and I feel like in 5 or less years they are going to be even more toxic. That's the thing, whenever you have a fandom that's very, very big, I feel like there are always going to be a lot of toxic people in it because the fandom is bigger, they're louder because they have more reach and they have more people. So you're always going to see that. And then also, I'm assuming that because Stray Kids is a little younger than BTS, they might have even younger people in their fan base. So that could be part of it too. But you should also remember that you shouldn't let interactions that you see between people on Twitter or online dictate what you think about the entire fandom. Like, even though, for example, I might see a lot of armies acting crazy online, I know that there are plenty of armies that are normal. I'm actually friends with some armies in real life, so just remember to not generalize a fandom based on what you see on the internet. But then again, I do see your point, and I do see some of the behavior you've been talking about, so I do get it. Even though the year has begun, I feel like K-pop 2021 is a whole lot better than 2020, and everyone is starting to let go of the retro trends, which I'm excited about, because the trend made K-pop boring in 2020. But that could just be me. I love your videos, by the way. First of all, thank you. I'm so glad you like my videos. And second of all, yeah, like, I think that some retro trends were done well. Like, I really liked Blue Hour by TXT. That was probably my favorite retro concept from last year. One that I didn't like, and I'm sorry, but if you guys aren't new here, you already know I wasn't crazy about Dynamite by BTS. I also wasn't crazy about When We Disco by JYP and Sunmi. I think the retro, especially disco concept, is overdone, but then there were other retro concepts that I did like that I felt like weren't overdone too much. I believe it was Everglow that did that song La Di Da Da. I think that's what it was called, and it wasn't disco, it was more like 80s pop, which I enjoyed. So I think that retro concepts can be done well, but I agree with you. Last year, the K-pop scene was oversaturated with retro concepts, so it would be nice to kind of move forward from that in 2021, not overdo it, and explore different concepts. Also, I wanted to say that stays were hypocrites when the Woojin situation happened. They hated on him without having any proof, but now with Hyunjin, they were defending him without any proof also. I know that Woojin is no longer part of the group and the situations are different, but stays didn't need to start trending hate and mocking his situation if he isn't related to them anymore and without any proof of that. Also, most stays keep ignorant and can't accept the fact that his fandom were disgusting and that Woojin is mostly innocent. So many people said that they believed in the victim first, but they didn't even know who was the victim or victims aside from tweets. Laughing my ass off, such clowns. When all of that information about Woojin first came out, I did believe it because I was so overwhelmed and I was like, where is all this information coming from? But even if you did believe that Woojin was guilty, sending him death threats and hate is totally toxic and it doesn't really do anything. I think the whole sending hate and death threats and cancel culture is not conducive or productive at all, and it's not the way to go about things. Even if someone is guilty, fixing the problem is not sending them death threats or harassing them online. That's just not the way to go about it. And now with all the evidence that we have now, we pretty much know that the whole scenario was created by a bunch of anti-fans in Brazil. And 10X Entertainment has actually been coming after people on TikTok and other social media that have been doing things like burning Woojin's photo cards, etc., basically for cyberbullying. So it's just not worth it acting like that, especially when you don't have all of the details. It's okay to state your opinion on the situation, but someone is never okay, even if they are guilty of a crime. Now, as far as the Hyunjin versus Woojin thing, I do kind of see what you mean, but I think part of it was the fact that Woojin left Stray Kids. Stays were so quick to kind of disown and attack him and believe the claims against him, but whereas Hyunjin is still a member of Stray Kids, I think because of that, they're more willing to defend. And on top of that, let's be real, Hyunjin is a visual. A lot of people find him attractive and they also like his personality, so I think because of that, they were quick to defend him. And I'm not throwing shade at Stays at all, that's just what it is. Like, Hyunjin is probably the 4th gen it boy right now, or at least one of them. Everyone that follows K-pop, even if they don't follow Stray Kids, they know who Hyunjin is. So of course people are not going to want to believe the bullying allegations that were against him. Now, as far as I know, JYP pretty much said that it was a misunderstanding and that no real took place, that they were able to talk to the accuser and the accuser's family, kind of settled things, but Hyunjin is still on hiatus, and that might just be because of his own mental health. Maybe he feels like he needs to take a break, because I'm sure he's received a lot of backlash, especially from the Korean media, because you guys know is taken really seriously in South Korea. I do think there was a double standard on how Woojin and Hyunjin were treated as far as the allegations thrown against them. With the Woojin situation, I was originally completely against him, but after the evidence that was given, I really want to believe that he didn't do that stuff. But I'm just completely stuck in the middle. I wish JYP would let Stray Kids talk about it and tell us if he even did anything bad, or if it really was just a personal issue. Maybe it's because I can't stand to see people be hurt, but seeing him cry on his live made me feel bad for thinking badly of him. I never left him hate, but I felt bad. I am with you 100%. I know what live you're talking about, and it really broke my heart. I especially felt guilty because I did believe the allegations against Woojin at first, and I even made a video talking about it. I wasn't sending him hate, but I was kind of like, okay, these were the allegations made against Woojin. What do you guys think? If he did do this, this is horrible. Sending hate is never the answer. Like I said earlier, if you disagree with someone or you think that they're guilty, you can take a step back and choose not to support them, but anyone is never okay. We've seen time and time again idols who actually take their lives because of cyber. So it's just not worth it. You don't want that on your conscience. And it would be great if JYP would make a statement about the whole situation or let Stray Kids talk about it, but to be honest with you, they probably won't, because they are no longer tied with Woojin, and Woojin is no longer a JYP artist. Now, if Woojin was still a JYP artist, of course the company would make a statement and they would clear things up, because it would be in their best interest to not have those allegations looming over them and potentially hurting their business. But because Woojin is no longer under JYP, they have no incentive to defend defend him, and they probably don't even want Stray Kids to address the issue or bring it up at all because they no longer want Woojin to be associated with Stray Kids because of the allegations, even though he is probably most likely, from what we know, innocent. And it's totally okay to not be sure how you feel and not want to support him or go against him, just being neutral. That's totally your prerogative. Me personally, I personally think he's innocent based on the information that I've read about the anti-fans in Brazil. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to stand him because I never really stand him before, but I'm going to continue to not send him hate, and if I'm ever asked about Woojin, I will say, yeah, personally I think he was innocent and this whole scenario was just a scenario made up by anti-fans to hurt his career. And it's really sad because they might have succeeded in doing that, and if he is innocent, which I think he is, I hope that 10X Entertainment take legal action against those girls because what they did was not right. Whenever I see K-pop idols displaying plain ignorance, it makes me laugh. I remember during a TV show, Exciting India, a group of SM idols went to India, and Kyuhyun from Super Junior packed a spoon with him because he actually thought that India had no spoons. This was in 2015, so he had to have had a little bit of common sense about this. If you're promoting globally, you have to be aware of things. Also, the fact that people think that India is some third world country, when in fact it's one of the fastest developing countries with so many people doing STEM. And it's literally almost all of my relatives that I know who live there have been fluent English speakers for practically their entire lives. Also, while the idols were packing, they asked Kyuhyun why he brought a spoon with him, and he said that he didn't want to eat with his hands, saying, "I don't want to try their culture. I live in the US and I normally eat with a spoon, but this hurt a little." Wow, so the fact that Kyuhyun did that, brought a spoon because he thought, so basically that's telling me that he thinks that, oh, people in India are uncivilized and don't use utensils to eat. First of all, that's ignorant for two reasons. One, you're wrong. Indian people do use utensils. And second, there are a lot of cultures that eat certain dishes with their hands, but that's just their culture, and that doesn't make them uncivilized or less than anyone else. That's a really ignorant, closed-minded perception to have. And like you said, idols are literally global public figures, so for them to be so ignorant about these things, and then what's worse, not even to just be ignorant, but to openly voice their ignorance, makes it even worse, because some people are going to hear what Kyuhyun said and think that that's true, or think it's okay. And you're totally right, India is developing super fast. It's a beautiful country. It's super advanced with technology, medicine, etc. And then the fact that Kyuhyun actually said, "I don't want to try their culture," that is so ignorant. If you ask me, if you are going to another country to travel for a TV show, for whatever reason, if you are not being open-minded and you don't want to embrace the country's culture that you're traveling to, stay your ass home. Stay your ass home and don't go. That is such an ignorant, closed-minded perception to have on the world, and he needs to do better. I would be really disappointed. I don't stand Super Junior, but that's gross. Okay guys, so that wraps it up for responding or reacting to your K-pop confessions. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers who took part in this video. You guys made this possible, and thank you for patiently waiting for part 2. I know it's been a little over a week, but once again, thank you. This was so fun to do. You guys are hilarious. Thank you for being so honest and brutal with your K-pop confessions. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, also make sure to ring the notification bell and turn on all notifications so you won't miss any of my uploads. Keep an eye out for my community posts because, like I said, I will be making more community posts like this where I post a Google form or post a poll asking you guys input for my upcoming videos because I want to know what you guys want to see. I want to know what you guys want to hear. I want you guys to be involved in my channel because I appreciate you and I appreciate your feedback. So thank you again for watching. Drop in the comments what your favorite K-pop confession from this video was. What one stuck out the most to you? Do you agree with any of the K-pop confessions? Do you disagree with some of them? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!